What are you looking at, Johnny D? What are you looking at?
Just very, very amazed at the cave that we're in today.
Yeah.
I can almost hear like rain outside.
It's a little bit more damp in here this week.
Yeah. Should we?
Did you hear that?
I did.
That's the bat.
Oh yeah.
The one that Fedge is always talking about.
Yeah, I see him. He's over there. Oh. Well, you know, we'll put it off for a second. You know what? We're here on the ECCO Show.
Hey, how's it going?
I'm DJ Shawnee D.
I'm Pat Attack.
Hey, and we are so glad that you're joining us this morning. It's such a wonderful day, you know, even though we're stuck in this cave right now. But we're coming to you live on the ECCO Show, and we're so excited that you joined us this Saturday morning.
Yeah, it's great. We're in the cave, you're in the cave, and fun fact, did you guys know that giraffes also live in caves?
They do.
Yeah, so by the way, seriously, what is that giraffe? What's up with that?
Well, he's bringing us a letter today.
That would explain the mailbox.
Yes, so we've got this letter in the mail. You want to read it or you want me to read it?
Who's it from?
It's from Levi Black, who's one of our second graders here.
Wow, Levi Black. It says Levi Black, second grade in Murfreesboro, Tennessee. Hey, that's where we're from. Okay, cool. Well, here, you open it up.
Okay.
You have the mail on your side.
You know, opening the letters has never really been my strong suit. So if I rip the letter here, you know what? This has always kind of worked for me. Ready? Ready, Pat Attack?
Yep.
Ready? Here we go.
Yeah.
Here we go. It's going to be intense. All right.
Whoa!
Hey!
That was destructive.
That was cool, huh? Okay, so here's a question. How can God talk to people in different ways?
How can God talk to people in different ways?
That's a good question.
That is a really good question. I think first off, we have to acknowledge like God can speak to anyone however God wants to. Right? God is God. He's all powerful. He could do anything. But what's interesting is we know from the Bible that God speaks to us in different ways. So one way that God speaks to us is very directly through our Bible, right? We can read our Bible. That is essentially God's mind on paper, right? God wanted us to know these things, and we can know that God's speaking to us through His Word.
That's true.
Yeah. I will admit, like sometimes we hear like, hey, has God spoken to you? I think that sometimes sounds like, well, did you literally hear God's voice? It was like, hey, Pat Attack, you know?
Yeah.
I haven't heard God just say, hey,
me
Pat
neither.
Attack, and you know, kind of walk me through that stuff. So sometimes when people say like, well, hey, God spoke to me, I used to wonder like, well, do you think like, did you really hear God? God can talk to us that way.
True.
But I've not heard God speaking that way.
It's very true, very true. And we're actually going to learn today in our lesson about another way that God speaks to us.
Really?
He actually spoke to a very specific individual, too.
Yeah.
Pretty incredible.
That's cool. I know we've talked about in the past how God's spoken through or to other people directly. Like He's done it before to people in the Bible. So that'll be really cool. I'm excited to look into that.
So no spoilers yet.
Yeah, we'll get into that. Yeah. But Levi, thank you so much for sending in that question.
Yes.
Seriously, that is wonderful.
And guys, if you're watching here, we encourage you guys to send in your questions if you have them too.
Yeah, absolutely, about God or the Bible or Christianity, anything like that.
Yep.
So, yeah.
Anything that tickles your brain.
Anything that tickles your brain, has you wondering. Yeah.
All right, well, should we get started with one of my favorite parts of the show?
Not yet.
Oh, not yet?
Not yet, because, man, I'm so thankful Levi wrote into us.
Of course.
We also have to give our shout out.
Of course, we can't get ahead of ourselves.
Or what Fedge says,
our
the
outshout.
The outshout.
I already used it earlier.
Yeah. Who are we shouting out this week?
We're shouting out the Smith family.
The Smith family. So that's Ivy and Roman.
And Roman, yeah.
Guys, thank you so much for watching the show. We're so glad that you enjoy it, and we're thankful to be a part of this.
Absolutely. And if you see us on the weekends, be sure to say, hey, we want to talk to you.
Absolutely. Yes, we love our kids. We love high-fiving our friends. So seriously, keep watching. We'd love to hear from you soon.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, now it's officially time, right?
Now it's time
Awesome.
for your favorite part, for my favorite part, for America's favorite part.
It's true. The challenge of the day. This is the great part of the show where we get to do some really ridiculous stuff.
This is going to be good. Hopefully, we'll see. You remember that one time when you and Fedge were stuffing with the marshmallows?
Oh yes, I do. That was a good game.
You guys still doing all right? Mm-hmm. Okay, wow. I didn't think you guys would last this long. There's still...
We've played some really fun challenges here.
Yeah, we have.
And, you know, while we're doing the challenge here, once again, I know I try to include you guys in this, but really, when we do the challenges here, we want them to do them at home, too.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, as you guys see us being pretty silly, right? We want you guys to be silly, too, at home. So, please do these challenges at home. And if they require a little adult supervision, we encourage that as well.
Yes. Okay, well, let's get on with it. Tortellini, would you mind coming on and spinning this wheel for us?
Oh, sweet. Let's see what the challenge is. Oh, no.
Lucky number?
Oh,
one.
one.
Number one.
All right. What is one
One
on the challenge wheel?
is Waterworks.
Waterworks. Is that where we get to like read a fun story but like cry about it?
No, that that doesn't sound like a fun challenge.
That doesn't sound very fun.
No, and unfortunately, it's not a water slide either. That would also be fun.
I do like the water park a
It's
lot.
going to involve a couple things. Tortellini, would you come and help us out? Thank you, Tortellini. It's going to require a cup of water.
So I'm going to dump the cups of water on your head.
No, thankfully not.
Oh, okay.
It's also going to require a little bit more. This next part is not necessary, but for us, because we've got a table and papers and stuff, we actually need a couple of buckets. So Tortellini, could you bring up our two buckets, please?
For the spit takes.
I already kind of want a little. Did you get these from the cave drips?
Yeah, probably.
Tastes like natural spring water.
That's actually where the most filtered water comes from.
Yeah.
No, it's not.
It's not?
No.
It's like groundwater, isn't it?
Yeah. This is not terrible for you, but...
I don't know a lot about groundwater. I know about living water.
Yeah. All right, so how's this challenge work, Pat Attack?
Okay, so here's what you're gonna have to do. We're gonna have to take a cup. Sorry, I started too early.
Yeah,
you're going to have to take your cup of water.
Okay.
I know I've been drinking mine. We aren't just drinking this water.
You don't have that much anymore.
I know. I'm gonna have to savor some of mine. We're going to get a mouthful of water.
Okay.
Not like
Okay.
type of full, but you know, a mouth with some water in it. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna sing a song.
Ooh, I like singing.
Yeah. So, would you like to do a duet, or do you want to take turns and pick each other's songs?
You know what would be really fun?
What?
To do a round. Have you ever done a round?
A round?
So it's when somebody starts singing a song and then the next person starts singing a song after them.
Is it the same song or a different
The
song?
same song.
What if I don't know this song?
You'll know it.
Okay.
Have you ever heard Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star?
Oh, I know Twinkle, Twinkle,
So
Little Star.
I'm gonna sing Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star, and then you're gonna start so it's Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star, how I wonder what you are, and then you
Up
start.
above the world so high.
But no, you start at the beginning, and I
have to
keep
start at the
singing.
same- Oh.
Does that make sense?
It does make sense.
We'll do it at the same time, and we'll sing in the same song, just a little bit off of each other.
So let's do it without water first.
Okay.
And then we'll do it with water, okay?
Okay.
You start us.
Twinkle, twinkle, little star,
Twinkle,
how I
twinkle,
wonder what
little
you
star,
are,
how I
up above
wonder
the
what
world
you
so high.
are.
Oh, I don't think this
above
one.
That's really difficult. I don't know how this is gonna work. I really don't. Look, I don't feel good about the buckets. Can we get something else? I want to make sure I don't get soaking wet with this.
I think Tortellini actually told me that she had something to protect our shirts.
Do you really?
Yeah, I
Tortellini?
think so.
What do you got? You got like a really cool, just like a cover protector.
Yep.
Baby bibs.
Wow. I didn't think it was gonna be this embarrassing.
Like a rhinestone cowboy.
Yeah. You look like it, that's for sure. like a high dollar cowboy right now.
I'm feeling good.
You look like a giant who just put on a bandana.
You do too. You look like a dog that just got bathed at the groomers. All right.
Okay, all right. We got the bucket.
All right, Joe. It's all serious now.
Okay, so we're gonna do Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star.
Echo, echo.
Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star in a round.
Okay, and you go first.
Yes, I'll go first. All right, you ready?
All right, let's do this.
Cheers.
Here we go. Man, that was awesome.
I was able to hold most of it, and I got a little bit on my chin.
I didn't know you took a lot in because it was like.
I was pretty much drowning. I needed to call him for like a life vest, you know?
Let's look. I was like on the last part, but we got through that song.
We did.
I thought water was going to go all over us
It
and
was-
the table and maybe our friends at home.
We were pretty successful.
Yeah.
I would say that was a successful challenge. You gonna drink the rest of it? Yeah, I think I'm gonna save mine. This is tasty water. Yikes. Probably not as smart as if we were to just do the regular challenge.
I'm just gonna do this. I'm gonna drink water whenever we do question times, and
Yeah.
I'm just always gonna be answering questions when we talk about questions.
You know what? Something I like to do when I drink water for fun.
Swallow
is-
it?
No, that's a good thing to do with water too. But I also like to pretend I'm a fountain. Like get in some fun pose and then just squirt it out of your mouth. It's pretty fun.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. Well, I know that. Okay, I'm not gonna do this for the questions that we answer later, but can we do our next segment and introduce it with a mouthful of water?
Hey, we could give it a shot.
Okay, because we know what it is.
Okay, here we go.
What side are we going from?
We did it.
Yeah, good job. Man, that was a lot of fun. And it wasn't as messy as I thought it would be.
No, it squirts a little bit. You see like little bubbles above your,
Yeah.
you can like look down. But other than that,
We got these pretty cool bibs. These
Yeah.
are kind of nice.
Yeah.
I like yours. Yours is kind of like out. Like this looks
Oh,
like
I
it
didn't
would-
even notice
This
this.
would be
I was
kind of
like, check it
nice.
out.
Like if you're eating or something and you drop some, like you just catch it.
and you save it for later.
That's right. Little snack for later. Yeah.
That's a good thing.
That's great. So, hey, we are talking to a new friend for our question of the day.
We are. His name. It's actually relevant that we're in a cave right now because his name is Caveman.
Caveman.
Why is his Caveman? Why is his name Caveman? You might ask. Let's ask him the question, shall we?
Yeah.
All right. Go ahead.
You want?
You know what? I'll go ahead and give it a
You
shot.
ask.
So, Caveman, when was a time you went on a trip or vacation and something unexpected happened?
Funny person on camera. Firelight inbox. No, safe. This not like when lady 5 moon ago cut all of caveman hair. No? Okay. Firelight box safe. No hurt? Okay. Okay. Long ago, cave woman and me go on big rock, no, metal cave boat to island Jamaica, land of yummy chicken. Other lady on cave boat, very sick. She fell into deep sleep. Boat chieftain, guy with big hat, say, no Jamaica. But we must save lady life. We go to, instead, Key Lime Island, land of yummy dessert. Chieftain wear big funny hat. Cave mama always say, always listen to man with big hat. Big hat, big brain. Caveman, no big brain. When we stop on dry land, big loud metal bird like this take sleeping sweet lady away to big cave with medicine. Now lady okay. We no go to island with yummy chicken, but no one sad. We save lady and we all skip chicken for yummy lime dessert. Story end.
Wow. Thank you so much, Caveman. You know, people have really always wondered why they call him Caveman.
It's true. I wonder the same thing.
Yeah. Well, anyways, what did you? Yeah, I wasn't here. I wasn't here last week. But you and Tortellini were together. What were you guys? What did you guys talk about?
So we talked about the Holy Spirit, and we talked about an Ethiopian and a guy named Philip. Philip. That's a great. I know a guy named Philip.
I do know a guy named Philip.
So the Holy Spirit led Philip to tell the Ethiopian man that we talked about last week about Jesus, right? Isn't that incredible?
I remember that story.
Yes.
Yeah.
So it's pretty awesome because we talked about doing good things for other people, right? Doing good deeds and being able to spread the good news to people who may not be able to hear about it, which is super important that we do that, right?
Yeah.
We need to be talking about Jesus to everybody, but especially people that maybe we might be uncomfortable with talking.
Yeah,
you know,
absolutely.
So, anyway, that's really the moral of the story that we talked about last week. But this week we're going to talk about something else. It's really cool, right? It's a moment where we see Jesus encounter someone in a very unexpected situation.
Can we go ahead and watch it?
Absolutely. But to preface this, and I just want to, just really tell you how awesome this is by saying this guy wasn't originally a fan of Christians. He actually hated them and, kind of had a hand in killing some people.
Did his name start with an S?
It did.
I think I know who you're talking about.
Yeah, but his name changed right after this happened, too.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Pretty awesome.
Yeah, let's check it out.
After Jesus died, rose from the dead, and ascended to heaven, people in Jerusalem who believed in Jesus were persecuted or treated cruelly because of their faith. One of Jesus' followers, Stephen, was even killed. A man named Saul had watched in approval when Stephen was killed. Saul wanted to put an end to the church. He went into the believers' homes, dragged them out, and put them in jail. Many believers fled the city. Saul headed to Damascus to arrest believers there, but on the way, a bright light from heaven suddenly flashed around him. Saul fell to the ground. He heard a voice saying, "Saul, Saul, why are you persecuting me?" "Who are you, Lord?" Saul asked. "I am Jesus," he replied. "Get up and go into the city. Then you will be told what you must do." Saul got up and opened his eyes, but he couldn't see. So the men who were traveling with Saul led him by the hand into Damascus. Ananias, a disciple of Jesus, lived in Damascus. The Lord spoke to Ananias in a vision. He told Ananias to go to the house where Saul was staying. Ananias knew that Saul had hurt many believers and that he arrested anyone who believed in Jesus. But the Lord said, "Go, I have chosen this man to take my name to Gentiles, kings, and Israelites." Ananias obeyed. He found Saul and told Saul that Jesus had sent him to help. Ananias put his hands on Saul, and Saul could see again. Saul got up and was baptized. For the next few days, Saul stayed with the believers in Damascus. He began to go to the synagogues to preach about Jesus. Saul told the people, "Jesus is the Son of God." The people were amazed. They recognized Saul and knew he had wanted to put an end to the church. Now he was one of them. The Jews did not like Saul's message. They planned to kill him, so one night, Saul left the city. The disciples helped Saul escape by lowering him down the city wall in a basket. Saul was also known as Paul. Jesus appeared to Saul and changed him inside and out. Jesus Christ came into the world to save sinners. Jesus called Paul, who was once an enemy to Christians, to spend the rest of his life telling people the gospel and leading them to trust in Jesus.
Oh man, that was great.
It was such an awesome video, and I'm so excited to talk about this message with you today because really, this is one of my favorites.
Yeah.
It's so cool the way the Holy Spirit and Jesus work in people's lives, and to see some really divine encounters.
Yeah.
Pretty awesome.
And thinking about I don't want to jump ahead, and I know we just watched a video about it, but watching someone like Saul or Paul and knowing how important he is to the Christian faith. You know, he wrote like 70% of the books in the New Testament. Yeah. That's
and if
so
you start
cool.
with the guy's life and just tell people about who he was and then say that he wrote that much of the New Testament, they'd be like, what? How?
Yeah.
That's why this story is so important.
Yeah.
Pretty awesome. So Patrick, or Pat Attack, if I will.
Yeah, I was like, don't.
I know, I'm so sorry.
Only my mom calls me Patrick.
That's true. Only when you're in trouble, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Anyway, Pat Attack, I'm gonna ask you some really fun questions today. And actually, for you guys out there, these questions are for all of us to answer. So
Yes.
I encourage you guys, as you guys sit at home and watch this show on this wonderful Saturday morning, you guys answer the questions along with maybe some family members you might have in your living room or wherever you're watching this, okay?
Yeah.
All right, so first question is, why was Paul traveling to Damascus?
So, Saul was traveling to Damascus.
True.
And like we were talking about earlier, he was a jerk face.
Kind of.
I don't use that word often, but
Yeah.
he was not very happy
He
with.
was a mean dude.
Yeah, he was not into Christians at all. I mean, he was going from town to town, and he was trying to figure out like where were they, and he was punishing them, right? Persecuting them. We've been talking about that. You guys have used that word, and we've used it the past couple weeks. So yeah, he was persecuting Christians.
Crazy, crazy stuff. Like, it just makes this encounter so awesome, right? All right, so here we go. Next question.
All right.
Why do you think God chose to use Paul to spread the gospel? He could have used anybody, right? He could have used anybody. But he used Paul in this moment to spread the gospel. Why do you think that is?
I think like with what we know about Paul, and what we just talked about with how much he was persecuting and hurting people, right? Jesus said like, why are you persecuting me? Why are you doing this? And in a way, like I see this as like, he was the one leading the charge, right? To go get after these Christians and this faith and all these people that were following Jesus. And so I think it makes it so powerful to see that even someone as we can see him as evil, right? Even someone as evil as Saul and someone who has done so much bad and he's persecuted Jesus. And Jesus asked him, he said, why are you doing this? And what we know is that God had a plan to use him to talk with the Gentiles, right? And specifically, like, it gives us weight because that lets me know that, like, have you ever met someone and they're like, well, I don't really know if I can really follow Jesus. I don't know why he would love me. Like, you know how many times, like, I've lied to people or how many times I've, like, been mean to people? We hear that a lot, but this guy, Saul or Paul, he was killing people that were worshiping.
That's
right?
what I was going to say is this book is all about hope, right? The Bible's all about giving us hope.
Yeah.
And Paul even says, I was the worst of the worst, right? And even Jesus saved me. And so that really encourages me as a believer because, you know, if Paul's saying, hey, I'm the worst of the worst, and guess what? I'm the chief of sinners. Well, guess what? Jesus saved him, so why not me?
Yeah, and that's the power of the cross, you guys, right? Jesus, as he's being nailed to the cross, is telling God, he said, God, please forgive them, right? And he's talking about the people that just nailed him to the cross.
Yeah.
And so just never have a doubt. Like, you will never be able to out-sin God. Like, you can't run far enough. As long as you are willing, right? As long as you are wanting that relationship with God, God will forgive you. He doesn't care what you've done. God just wants you. He just wants to have a relationship with you, and there's nothing you can do that can separate from his love.
Pretty awesome stuff.
Yeah.
All right, Pat.
That gets me excited. That is so cool.
It really does. And, you know, I say this on the weekends too. I get so pumped about this, you know? It's so awesome to talk about cool stories like this.
Yeah.
All right, so I have one final question for you. You ready, Pat?
The last question.
The last question.
Hold on a second.
You got enough water?
I'm taking all that.
All right, sounds good. So the last question while you're drinking, can you think of anyone you would be shocked to learn became a Christian? Is there anybody in your life and they're like, hey, Pat Attack, did you know this person became a Christian? You're like I wish I could do like a cartoon where my jaw dropped to the floor, right?
Yeah.
What do you think? Is there anyone?
Can I tell you that this is actually happening right now in my
Really?
life? Yeah. There is a person that I know, and I was like best friends with this person. And she knew that I had become a Christian, and like we talked about, like when we become Christians, we start living differently, right? And it means
Jesus
that
inspires change.
Yeah, it means that we can't always, like if we were doing sinful things, right? Whenever we have a relationship with Jesus, he calls us to live differently, right? To
Absolutely.
obey him, and that's how we show our love to him. And so when that happened, our friendship, we didn't really talk as much anymore. I mean, we would every once in a while, but it was kind of like, she calls me Patrick too. It's not my mom though.
It's true.
But she says, Patrick's doing his own thing, over there, and he's following this Jesus guy. I don't really know much about it. And that was 3 or 4 years ago. And just a little while ago, she just started asking questions, and she was like, I just don't feel like I have a whole lot of hope. And she was like, where do you have this? And I was like, let me just tell you about it. Let me tell you about who Jesus is. And so I'm seeing right now she's wanting to forgive people, right, that have been mean to her in the past. She's wanting to spend more time with Jesus and learn more about who he is.
Yeah.
And this is all coming back to the question, because you asked me if I would ever be shocked. And the thing is like, can God save anybody?
Anybody.
Anybody. And we know that, right? And so it's like, we know that God can do incredible things, but when it happens and you see it, it's still shocking, and it's still like, oh my goodness, like God, like that is so incredible.
Very true, very true. But I think we should all just find hope in the fact that anyone, right? We can still be shocked because, we're all worldly people, right? And we still can be amazed by some of the things that happen here on earth, but guess what? God's just like, even them. Yeah. Even them.
Absolutely.
Pretty cool.
We serve an awesome God.
We sure do, Pat.
Yeah.
We sure do. Well, that's it.
That's it?
That's all.
I could spend the entire day here.
I know. It was a fun day today. Really was.
It was good. Hey, we're gonna see some of our friends tonight though, right?
Yes, definitely.
So later tonight. Or tomorrow, right? Tomorrow morning we can see our friends. So we hope to see you then. Man, this was such a good time.
Well, I guess we'll see you later, right?
See you later. We both finished our water.
We did.
We couldn't wish a goodbye.
True. Well, anyway.
This was the ECCO Show. I'm Pat Attack.
I'm DJ Shawnee D.
Bye.
See ya.
When night has fallen, when fear is coming, still you're calling me. When faith is lost and my hope exhausted, you will be my strength. When my mind says I'm not good enough, God, you're enough for me. Yeah, I've decided I'm not giving up, 'cause you won't give up on me.